Doing an intent to file is extremely easy to do. You could do it online, you could do it over the phone, or you can print it out and mail it in. But why are some veterans still missing out on $5, $10, $15, $20,000 or more in back pay even after they submit the form? Or so they thought. I don't want that to happen to another veteran, so we're going to walk through some of the common things that may be missed when completing the intent to file form.
Open ranks, march!
Okay, let's jump into it. So this is the intent to file a claim for compensation and or pension or survivor pension and or DIC. Take note of compensation, pension, survivor's pension, and or DIC. These are what they call benefits. Just hang on to that. Now, Section 1 really just talks about the veteran's identification information. Now, just bottom line up front, you do not have to tell the VA what you intend to file for, right? What condition. This is just basic information such as your name, social security number. Have you ever filed a claim before? Do you have a VA file number, your birth date, veteran service number, mailing address, email address, telephone number. Now, the key thing here is to make sure that you, as the veteran, fill this out accurately. The second step is the claimant's identification information. Now, well, who is the claimant? Is that me as the veteran? Let's take a look. Relationship to veteran. Okay. Relationship to veteran. Spouse, child, fiduciary, veteran service officer, alternate signer, third party, or other. If someone is filing on your behalf, they need to complete this form. They need to complete this section of the form and then complete it in its entirety. Here's the meat of it. Section 3, general benefit election. Important. Anytime I see important on a VA form, I'm reading it, and maybe you should consider doing the same. VA may not be able to use this form to establish an effective date for benefits if you do not select one or more of the general benefits listed below. 19. I intend to file for the general benefit checked below, either compensation, pension, or survivor's benefits. Those we saw those in the title of this actual form. So the general benefits are compensation, pension, and survivors. So let's just walk through a quick example. I am someone who's filing for the first time. I'm filing for my knee. I'm doing an intent to file. I am going to select compensation here. Okay. Now, let's read the next important section. Important. After receiving this form, the VA will give you the appropriate application to file the general benefit you selected above. You can also apply for VA disability compensation online at www.va.gov. If you give VA a completed application for a selected general benefit within 1 year of following this form, your completed application, what application would that be? If I'm filing for my knee and I'm filing an application for VA disability benefits, that would be VA Form 21-526EZ. Your completed application will be considered filed as the date of receipt of this form. When you submit this form, the effective date is the date that they received this form. Only the first completed application for each selected general benefit that is received after you file this form will be considered filed as the date of receipt of this form. In other words, you submit an intent to file. I file a VA disability claim application for my knee. They marry it up. They say, oh, this is the date that he submitted that intent to file. The effective date is the date that we're going to use to start his benefits or to pay compensation for his benefits, in which you might get retroactive pay. You may indicate your intent to file for more than one general benefit on this form, or you may submit a separate intent to file, VA Form 21-0966, for each general benefit. Please complete as much as possible. Now, what is that saying? If you plan to file an intent to file for compensation, then you can use this form. Or if you plan on filing an intent to file for compensation and pension, you can still use this form. However, you can also do one separately for compensation and also one for pension or one for survivor benefits or whatever. Okay. So, last piece, section 4, declaration of intent and signature. By filing this form, I hereby indicate my intent to apply for one or more general benefits under the laws administered by the VA. Under the laws administered by the VA. So that means there's probably a law that's relative to effective dates and a law that talks about the intent to file. That might be something that you may want to consider looking up. I acknowledge that this is not a claim for benefits. So by submitting this form, you're not submitting a claim for benefits. That's why you need to submit an application for or a claim for benefits. 2, I must file a complete application for each general benefit, the benefits we talked about, with VA before the VA will process my claim. And a complete application for the same general benefit as indicated on this form must be received within 1 year of the date the VA receives this form for my application to be considered filed as the date of this form. Okay. Signature there, sign and date, and then your attorney, agent, or VSO must print their information, and this is where you send that document to. Okay, so we walked through that kind of quickly, but I wanted to show you the form and some of the common mistakes. Let's recap that. So we talked about completing the information, making sure it's accurate, making sure it's filled out completely. The other tip and advice I would say is call the VA, trust but verify. Verify that they have your intent to file. If you did not receive a notification, maybe in a week or two, I would just give them a call and see what's going on. I would hate for you to lose the effective date simply because we let life happen and we didn't follow up. The last thing I would advise is create your own I Love Me. In the Army, we have a system called the I Love Me medical book. Create this book. Put whatever notification that you got from the VA inside of that book, hard copy, electronic, but try to do what you can to keep some kind of consistency and order in the beginning of the process and highlight the effective date on that document. So at this point, you're probably saying, Roger, that too easy. I'm ready to go. I want to file my intent to file today. But after I file my intent to file, Spear, what are my next steps? Your next step is to get access to your medical record. And in the video above my head somewhere, we're going to walk you through that step by step. See you then.
Close ranks. March!